TED Talk, How to Motivate Yourself to Change Your Behavior. Our mistake as teachers, as mentors, as employers is that instead of working with this positive image that people so effectively maintain, we try to put a clear mirror in front of them. We tell them, that image is gonna get worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the brain will frantically try to store the image using Photoshop and fancy lenses until it gets the image it is happy with. But what would happen if you went along with how our brain works and not against it? Take hand washing, for example. So we all know that hand washing is the number one way to prevent the spread of disease, and this is really important in hospital. So in a hospital here in the United States, a camera was told to see how often medical staff do in fact sanitize their hands before and after entering a patient's room. Now, the medical staff knew a camera was installed. Nevertheless, only 1 in 10 wash their hands before and after entering a patient's room. But then an intervention was introduced. An electronic board that told the medical staff how well they were doing. Every time you wash your hands, the numbers went up on the screen, and it shows you your rate of your current shift at the rate of the weekly staff. And what happened? Boom. Compliance raises to 90%, which is absolutely amazing. And the research staff were amazed as well, and they made sure to replicate it another division in hospital. Again, the same result. So, why does this intervention work so well? It works well because instead of using warnings about bad things that happen in the future like disease, it uses 3 principles that we know really drive your mind and your behavior. Let me explain. So, the first one is social incentives. In the hospital setting, the medical staff could see what other people are doing, right? They can see the rate of the shift, the rate of the week. We are social people. We really care what other people are doing. We want to do the same and we want to do better. This is an image from a study we conducted led by PhD students Michael Edison, and what it's showing you is a signal in the emotional center of your brain when you hear about the opinion of others. And what we found was that this signal can predict how likely you are to conform at a later time and how likely you are to change your behavior. So, the British government are using this principle to get people to pay taxes on time. In an old letter that they sent to people who forgot to pay taxes on time, they simply stressed how important it was to pay taxes and they didn't help. So they added one sentence, and that sentence said, 9 out of 10 people in Britain pay their taxes on time. And that one sentence enhances compliance with that group by 50%. And it's thought to bring to the British government's £5.6 billion. So, highlighting what other people are doing is a really strong incentive. The other principle is immediate reward. So, every time the staff washed their hand, they could see the number go up the board and it made them feel good. And knowing that in advance made them choose something that they are otherwise may not want to do. Now, this worked because we value immediate rewards that we can't get now, more than rewards that we can get in the future. And people tend to think it's because we don't care about the future. That's completely wrong. I mean, we all care about our future, right? We want to be happy, we want to be healthier in the future, we want to be successful. But the future is so far away. I mean, maybe you behave badly now and you'll be fine in the future. And maybe you'll be altogether dead. So, the here and now you would rather have that tangible drink, that tangible teapot, rather than something that's uncertain in the future. If you think about it, it's not altogether irrational, right? You're choosing something sure now rather than something that's unsure in the future. But what would happen if you reward people now for doing actions that are good for them in the future? So, studies show that giving people immediate reward make them more likely to quit smoking, more likely to start exercising, and this effect lasts for at least 6 months. Because not smoking becomes associated with a reward, and exercising becomes associated with a reward, and it becomes a habit. It becomes a lifestyle. So we can reward ourselves and others now for behaving in a way that are good for us in the future. That's a way for us to bridge the temporal gap. And the third principle is progress monitoring. So the electronic board focused the medical staff attention on improving their performance. This is a image from a study we conducted that shows you brain activity suggestive of efficient coding of positive information about the future. And what we found was that the brain does a really good job at this, but it doesn't do such a good job at processing negative information about the future. So what does this mean? It means that if you're trying to get people's attention, you might want to highlight the progress, not the decline. So, for example, if you tag the kids with a cigarette, you might want to tell them, if you stop smoking, you become better at sport. Highlight the progress, not the decline. Now, before I sum up, let me just share this small analysis with you. So, a few years ago, I got home and I found this bill on my fridge. And I was really surprised because there's never any bills in my fridge, so I'm wondering why my husband decided to put them on our fridge. And so looking at the bill, I could see that what the bill was trying to do is get me to be more efficient with my electricity use. And how was it doing it? Social incentive, immediate reward, and progress monitoring. Let me show you. Here's the social incentives. So in gray is the energy use, the average energy use of people in my neighborhood, and in blue is my energy use, and in green is the most efficient neighbor. And my immediate reaction was, I'm a little bit better than average, a tiny bit, but still, and my husband has exactly the same reaction, and I want to get the green bar. And then I got a smiley face that was my imaginary word that is telling me you're doing good. And it made me want to put this on my fridge. And although I have this one smiley face, I can see an opportunity there to get two smiley faces. So there is opportunity for progress, and it showed me my progress throughout the year, how my energy use changes throughout the year. And the last thing this bill gave me, it gave me a sense of control. So it gave me a sense of I was in control of my use of electricity. And that is a really important thing if you're trying to get people to change their behavior, because brain is constantly trying to seek ways to control its environments. It's one of the principle of what the brain is actually doing. And so giving people a sense of a control is a really important motivator. Okay, so what am I not saying? I'm not saying that we do not need to communicate risks. And I'm not saying that there one solution fits all. But I am saying that if we want to motivate change, we might want to rethink how we do it. Because the fear of losing your health, the fear of losing money, induces inaction, while the thrill of gain induces action. And so to change behavior in ourselves and in others, we may want to try this positive strategy rather than threats, which really capitalize on the human tendency to seek progress. Thank you.